And hello, that's better. I had a connection timeout, good old Elite servers. So welcome along to my little live stream. Now, what's going on here? You're probably wondering, why am I doing a 9,000 light year dash? Have I actually forgotten my sandwiches and I need to go back? Because I am out at the Distant Worlds expedition at the moment, and that's Distant Worlds 2. But what I thought I'd show you is where I am right now in the galaxy. And once it finishes plotting out its route, I'll give you some sort of clue of what's going on. So, Distant Worlds 2 expedition is making their way out quite close to Colonia at the moment. And I was kind of around here. I've already been out as far as this. I know you might sound I'm crazy, but I'm on my way back again. And the reason being is that they set up a community challenge back in our home bubble for delivering um, survey data. And I thought, well, hang on, everyone's out exploring. That challenge isn't going to go very well. And at the moment, it's still on the first tier, as far as I'm aware. So my plan is to double back from the journey and do a dash to sell the data that I've got so far at this place here, Naura, Nauru, however you want to pronounce that. Um, and it's, as you can see, there's a community challenge there. So the plan is that I'm going to do this dash, and currently we've got, okay, it's down to 8,719 light years to go. And you're probably thinking, well, this could be a long stream. But then I am flying a hefty explorer ship, and I think I should be able to do it fairly quickly. My biggest challenge is that I'm not going to be able to stop and scan because this community challenge ends and I need to do this um, dash back home in this stream. So I'm just going to be going full tilt, scooping and jumping non-stop. So feel free to wish me luck whilst I try and do this. Here we are. I've just scooped from a neutron star, so I've got a 240 light year jump is my next jump. And we're just going to go hammer and tongs. We are not going to have time um, to. I was just getting to Super's Cruise actually before we jump. We're not going to have time to stop and look around and scan things. It is absolutely going to be a mad dash back to the community challenge station to sell the data that I have right now. And I'm also interested to see how quickly I can cover 9,000 light years, give or take. So let's just show you the system in at the moment. I've just restarted, haven't I? So I just have to do a rehonk. Let's quickly do that. And you should see that there's a neutron star. I don't have magic capability to jump that far. In fact, I don't even want to be in that system. Actually, it's an interesting system, this one as well, because I found two water giants as well, so I thought I'd go and scan those. But there's a neutron star, and there's the two water giants, and I've scanned those and surface scanned as well. I mapped them, so we're good to go. So the challenge is, how quickly can I cover nearly 9,000 light years? And on my navigation panel, it says 103 jumps. So place your bets. How long is it going to take to do this journey? Well, let's find out. Let's get going. Now, like I say, I haven't got time to mess about and look around and scan. It's just going to be scoop and jump. I have no idea how long it's going to take. I think it should take less than 2 hours. I'd be really surprised if it took me more than 2 hours to do 9,000 light years. Okay, so it's a neutron star to start. Oh, give me a nice jump. There's only one body in this system anyway, so that's already fully scanned. Really want to be quick at doing this though. But what I don't want to do is overshoot the neutron boost and have to turn round. Oh, did I hear module malfunction? Oh no, I need to repair my FSD. Otherwise that'll really slow us down. Okay, so if we want to do a repair, which we can do now, we better do it now actually. I'm going to come out of Super Cruise. And we need to do a quick repair. Let's have a look at our modules. My FSD must be quite low. Where are we? In here somewhere. Frame shift drive. There we go. Right, okay. Let's get that repairing. And switch on my repairing system. Here we go. So once that gets going, we should be able to start repairing our frame shift drive. And as you can see, that is now repairing. And so while that repairs, I'll just check my setup and make sure everything's working okay. I should have really checked to see if I need repairs before I started this little run. But never mind. Okay, so on 82%, I will let it repair fully because I don't want to be messing about having to stop and repair it again. We shouldn't need to, depends how many neutron jumps there are. Hopefully not too many. So yeah, I don't know if you want to place your bets on how long this might take. Like I say, I think I should be able to do it in under 2 hours. But the truth will out, and we will find out soon enough, I guess. Okay. So I can't even look around at the moment, really, and see what's what whilst we're repairing. Can have a look at the ship. There we go. Is that a point defense? I can't even remember. Oh no, I think it's the pulse wave analyzer, that one. I have got a couple of, or maybe that's it. I've never looked at it from the outside before, actually. There's like a little satellite dish. That must be it there. Cool. I always said they should have some sort of radar dish on the outside of a ship. And there it is. I'm glad they took my advice. I'll take it. Okay. So there we go. Here we are. Just waiting for my drive to repair. Out in the lonely black of a system with just one neutron star. And there's Miss Sticker from the very first Distant Worlds expedition from 3302. Right, hopefully we're nearly repaired by now. Let's have a quick look. Frame shift drive 100%. That's what we want to see. Okay, let's turn off our repairing system. Don't need that anymore. Thank you very much. Engage the frame shift drive. And we should be good to go. Okay. Let's carry on our journey, hopefully with no more mishaps like that. Alrighty. So this is a dash then. I've just repaired my frame shift drive. It was playing up and we don't want that. Not when we're dashing 9,000 light years, do we? So what is the time? Let's go with 1925. Now that we've repaired, we'll forget that last jump. Right, as quick as we can. Hand in the community data. So we've just done 2 neutron boost jumps, so I do need to fill the tank up as quickly as possible. So you get to see how I get going quick. That'll do, mate. Let's get going. Okay, so yeah, Mad Dash. Feel free to say hello in the chat if you so wish. Um, I still can't believe they did a community challenge for donating system data when everyone's out doing the Distant Worlds expedition. So I'm doubling back because I'm crazy. I'm a nutter. So I'm going all the way back to the bubble to drop off the data I have right now and then go all the way back and catch up with the expedition. I know, call me crazy, call me a nutter, but that's me. And the idea of this live stream is just to see how quickly I can get back and cover 9,000 light years. I'm not going to obviously stream me catching back up with the fleet. That would make for a very boring live stream, and I probably won't do it in Dash because I don't like not scanning systems. And with the new system now, I can't even have a look at the system map. I have to come off the throttle to look at the scanner, and I really just want to crack on and get back as quickly as possible. So that's what we're going to do. I never even looked to see what star class was the next I was jumping to. Really need to keep on the ball of that when you're rushing. The new system does kind of help now that you don't tend to run out of fuel. And it will make sure you hit a fuel star where you can scoop from before your next jump. But I'm old school. You never had all these tools to help you. But there's a lot of stuff in the system now that will help you along your way without getting lost or running out of fuel. So the next star is a neutron star. I suppose while I'm doing this, if you've got any questions about Elite, feel free to ask. Excuse me. It's probably on to about 100 jumps by now. Tritria, mate. Hello. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. Always nice to have you along for company. So as the title of this video suggests, I am dashing back to the bubble to sell my data. I know that sounds crazy. I've got no other reason to go back. I haven't forgotten my sandwiches. I haven't left the cooker on. I'm just going back to drop off the data and then make my way back to catch up with the Distant Worlds 2 fleet. And I'm only doing this because I noticed that the community challenge is really not doing well at all. And this is in the name of science, and the whole purpose of that is for a science lab that will investigate and feedback on all the life forms and things that we find out in deep space. It seems like a worthy cause to come back and drop off some data. So in the name of science, I'm going to head back to the bubble. And I'm just intrigued how quickly I can do it. I'm in my Anaconda. I'll show you the jump range in a minute. I have dropped off all my limpets. I don't need them. And if you're wondering why I was carrying limpets, it was to assist other commanders that might need repairs. Or if I just get it really badly wrong in a landing on a high G world to repair my own ship. But I've dumped those now, so I've got nothing in the cargo hold. I'm as light as possible. And if we look at the jump range now. So we've got a 76 light year jump range, and I'm not even concentrating. And I've got weapons, I've got healing beams, I've got limpets, repair limpets, and all good stuff. So I'm mining equipment, kind of near enough everything you could probably need, really. Yeah, Tritri, mate, that community goal ends in about 20 hours time. So I'm rushing back now to hand in some data that hopefully might bring it a little bit closer to the next tier, because at the moment it's only on tier 1, which is a real shame. because it's for science, right? And this is also very difficult for me to not look at the map um, or do any scanning, but I just don't have time because knowing my luck, I'll find something of interest and then I'll be off scanning planets and so on, which will really slow me down. Okay. So yeah, I will once I get into the rhythm of things, I will discuss a few things about Elite Dangerous to make this journey a little bit more interesting. Because if it takes as long as I think it will, um, I don't know, it'll be less than 2 hours. I really hope it will be. We've got 95 jumps left to go, and I do just need to quickly get myself a beverage. So I'll be right back, and I'll leave you heading towards the next system, but I'm not going to jump and leave my computer, obviously. Alrighty, sorry about that. We're back. Oh, I need to get a drink. I should have been prepared for all this, really, shouldn't I? Okay, let's crack on. M-Class Star. M-Class Star can be scooped. And I use the phrase fog kabam for me to remember the stars that you can scoop. I think the other one that people like to use as well from Elite is called KGB foam. But those letters all spell out star classes, which can be scooped for fuel. And I will be doing a video on star classes so you can understand them. There's a lot more to it than just the letter. There's a lot more useful information that's handy to know, especially if you're an explorer, because you want to find those more interesting stars, and also the sorts of stars that can cause planetary nebula. So next is an A-class star. That's the third brightest. O-class is the brightest of all, biggest as well. Then you've got a B-class star, and then A-class. And interestingly, the O-class star is the rarest type of star. So they're always a pleasure to go and visit in Elite Dangerous. And there is a kind of a weird phenomenon about them that when you look at the star map or in the galaxy map, it will probably just say that there's one or two. They're quite often they're binary, but it won't mention any other stars. But they tend to harbour lots of other stars as well because they're so big and bright. It doesn't really show up, and that's the way that I kind of do the immersion thing. But when you can get into a system, you can find that there can be up to like 20 to 30 other stars in those systems. So when you see an O-class system, it really is worth going and have a look. You never know what you might find. And I must say, I'm already finding it very difficult not to go and look at the scanner, because I'm an explorer, and I could be going through systems that no one's been in before, and I'm not looking, and that's one part of the new system I don't like, because I can't do a honk and look at the galaxy at the system map. because I've just done a honk there. Okay, if I look at the system map, let's have a look. That's it. There's 9 bodies in this system, but I can't see anything, and it could be something really nice. I'm gonna have one look. Okay, so this is a good example of an uninteresting system. There's nothing there at all really, but you can see how easy it is to get distracted and start looking in systems, and I don't want to do that. I really need to focus on the task at hand. We've got 92 jumps to go. Come on then, let's get a move on. Let's concentrate on going as fast as we can now. I have to say, Twitchy mate, it's really nice to have you along again. These live streams can be quite lonely at times. My guide to the galaxy is kicked off as well. It's worth mentioning. I've done 2 guides so far. We're right at the very beginning of the series, and there's a lot to cover. But at the moment, I've just done the very basics with the training in the first one, what to do first, and an example of what goes wrong if you don't actually do the training missions. You just need to get that practice in first before you do anything else. And then we've done a basic ship build of the Sidewinder, which I seem to struggle with when I was doing the video of saying Sidewinder. I don't know why. But I wanted to make it a seamless recording, so I didn't edit it in any way. That was just kind of raw. It worked, I think. So people have now got a Sidewinder that can jump around the system, do missions. And I want to do, I've got a choice of 2 different videos to do. I'll either do one on the Codex and explain that properly. I don't think anyone's really nailed it in terms of what the Codex is about, and I think it's probably worth probably maybe more than one video maybe. But I also want to get people out there exploring as well, so we might have to finish off our exploration build and make that Sidewinder go as far as possible without engineering, because engineering will be a separate video. But I've got a plan for that. In order to increase the range of engineering, there's a few things you need to do, and you might as well do it whilst you're out exploring. So we'll cover off that as well. But yeah, Elite is a really big game, and so when you think about doing a guide, there's so much to it. There really is so much to Elite. There's enough content in guides just probably last a year just for that. So yeah. Right, let's concentrate on going a bit faster. I'm conscious I'm still not going very fast in terms of jumping and scooping. And as you notice that even though I'm still scooping fuel, I still get the jump drive going. It doesn't matter if you take a bit of heat. I've got an A-class power plant, so it doesn't run too hot. And, if you take a bit of heat damage, it's nothing minor. Or it is minor. And in the old days, when you used to do jumping like this, it wouldn't put stars in a normal position that you would expect. You might jump into a system, although you're going almost in a straight line, so to speak, across the galaxy. You jump out in front of a star, and then your next jump will be directly behind you. And it was like, well, that was a bit weird. But now they've put the star right in the right line, if you like. It does mean that you have to keep navigating around. It kind of works scooping. Sometimes it can be a big star, it takes a while to get around, but I'm talking of big stars. The largest star class, or the largest star size, is a I, or it reads as 1, which is a Roman numeral, and the most common is V. So when you look at a star map or a galaxy map, and you look at the star of the system, the most common one you'll see is a V, and you're probably wondering, what's he on about? So what I'll do is I'll quickly show you on this next one. Let's Let's have a look. What sort of star is it first? M class. Okay, so that's quite a common one. But let's go and have a look at a little bit more detail about that M class star. Oh, wrong map. I want the galaxy map. So let's have a quick description. So it's an M class star. The number after the letter indicates the brightness. So 7 is quite dim, and the lower the number, the brighter it gets. So an M0 would be the brightest of M class stars you can get. Then the next letter, V, is the size of the planet in terms of mass, and V is the most common. You can get IV because it uses Roman numerals. So IV is a little bit bigger, and then you get III or 3, which is bigger still. Then we get II or 2, which is the second largest, and then you get I or 1, and that is the biggest, and those are called supergiants. So there you go. That kind of explains the letters a little bit more for you if you're interested. I will do a proper Galaxy Guide episode on star classes and what they all mean. There are a lot of stars, and so I don't know if I'll squeeze it all into a 10-minute episode, because you've got your things like stellar bodies as well, like non-sequence stars like black holes and all that good stuff. So there we go. Hope you found that a little bit interesting whilst we make our way back. So we've been flying for about 15 minutes, not very efficiently at the moment, but I am going to make a change to that now and start going on full tilt mode, which is as fast as I can. You'll see my heat goes up, but it never really breaches the 100% mark, even though I'm in the Corona scooping fuel. This ship can take quite a lot of heat damage, and as long as it stays under 100%, you don't actually take any damage at all. What will damage you though is using the neutron stars to boost from. They slowly deteriorate your jump drive and other components, which is why you always take a repair unit along with you. I'm pretty confident there's another star around here, the way that came in. Ooh, that's close. I can't help it. As soon as I see weird stuff like that, I think it's not that close actually. It's still 10 light seconds. But I can't help myself. I'm an explorer. I like to find the weird and wonderful. Right, so next up anyway is a neutron star. So that'll enable us to do another big jump. Oh, we're down to 85 jumps. Now, how long will that take? I wonder if I can do 85 jumps in an hour and a half. We shall see. Hey, Tritrium, you say your hull's not too happy. Well, you don't have to go back. I can repair you. I just need to go and drop this data off first, but then I can come back and repair you if that's what you need, sir. I can generate limpets on the fly. So yeah, and there are plenty of support people doing the Distant Worlds 2 expedition, and lots of them do have repair capability, so they can fix you up, repair your ship, and set you back on your way. And that's one of the roles that I took. Mining and support. I can repair shields. Not sure how useful that'll be, but it does mean that if I'm in a wing, I can shoot people and not hurt them, which is always good. And I've also got friend or foe. I'm trying to think what weapon it is I put on there now. Can't see now. We're in hyperspace. I think it's multi-cannon. I think I've got a huge multi-cannon, but it's got friend or foe ammunition. so that if I do hit someone that's not currently an enemy, it doesn't damage them, because trust me, a huge multi-cannon is going to hurt. So I'm equipped for doing that sort of stuff. I'm not equipped for fighting because it's an exploration ship, but I can interact with things with weapons, which is handy because you never know what you're going to find. Treachery mates in the outer rim the other way. All right, okay, yeah, that is really the other way, really. Yeah, so maybe when you get back and do your outfitting, maybe set it up a little bit better so that you can repair yourself. Always recommended. No, you're welcome. Well, I'm going in the right direction, I guess. But I'm not going to continue past the bubble and onto the outskirts of the galaxy, because then that would take me a long time to catch back up with the fleet. Oh, this is a long jump sequence. Oh, is it going to disconnect on me? Come on. I wonder if it means there's something interesting. See, that was a really long jump sequence, and the jump sequence is like a loading screen that basically loads the next system. Now, that took a long time, so I'm wondering if there's something interesting. It's got 38 bodies, which is quite a lot. I'm wondering if there's something worth having a look at. And I know I'm in a rush, but I am intrigued why that jump sequence took so long. See, this is my favourite scenario for finding interesting orbits, but I just don't have the time. I just don't have the time. Let's just scan. Is it? What's that? Looks like a gas giant without rings. Oh no, that one's got a ring. I'm not going to scan all of these. Don't worry. I'm just looking for a particular type of orbit. What's that one? B. No, don't want B. I want A. That's useless. 9 days. Right. Anyway, yeah, I was just looking for a particular type of orbit, but I'm not going to dilly dally. Let's carry on. Get going. Can't help it. I'm an explorer. What can I say? So next class star is an M. It's one of the most commonest stars in the galaxy. It's the most common. Like I say, the higher you go up the scale in terms of star class, the rarer they are. And in certain areas of this galaxy, it's almost impossible to find an O-class star at all. So when you do find them, they are worth a look. I highly recommend it. Get some weird sort of orbits and planets that are well worth a look. I've not just looked to see how much distance I've travelled yet. We'll do that on the next one when we're just scooping some fuel, I think, and see how we're doing. Right. Whilst we're guzzling up some fuel, how far have we got left to go? Let's have a quick look. That's where we're heading. 6,000 light years, just over 6,000. So we've nearly done 3,000 light years already. Wow, that's pretty quick, right? 3,000 light years in, well, I don't know, probably half an hour. And I'm not really been going as fast as I can. That's quite a lot. And it is interesting when you go on things like the forums and people say, "Oh, yeah, I've just done my first exploration trip, and yeah, I went 1,000 light years," and you're like, "Okay, that's not very far." Um, and of course, until they try something like going to the other end of the galaxy, that's when you realise how big the galaxy is. And one of the things I like about being out in the galaxy like this is that you don't see other ships, and when you do the scanning, you don't have to deal with all those signal sources, because the signal sources, when you're inside the bubble, are a real pain when you're trying to find interesting stuff. Um, so once you get out in the black, which is, approximately 700 light years outside of the bubble, you don't get any more signal sources and you don't get any more ships, and you're basically on your own. And from that point, scanning systems is a little bit more enjoyable. um, but it is quite frustrating when you're back in the bubble and you're scanning systems, and all you get is just up to, I've seen 100 signal sources in a system, and you think, no, that's just going to take too long to scan, surely. I mean, they are important because you want the high grade type, high grade emissions and things like that to get some of the required resources for your upgrades. Especially when it comes to exploration, there is things like proto heat exchanges, whatever they're called. Get lots of those, and you can use them, and they basically all get used for doing lightweight modifications. And as you can see there, I overheated my ship, and completely intentional. I just didn't want to sit for ages in that situation. You see, I've not taken any hull damage. It does affect your modules. They kind of get fried a little bit, but overall, if you're in a dash, don't worry about a bit of heat damage. It's all fine. It's all under control. And like I said, I can manufacture a limpets if I need to and repair myself, but I'm doing a mad dash. I don't see me running into any issues at all, really. The only thing you don't want to do is crash into a white dwarf or a neutron star. In exploring, those are pretty much, there's another star close by here as well, I sense it. Just tell by the sequence when you come into the system. I thought that was it there then. See, I want to have a look because I know there's something interesting. But yeah, there's only two real things that are going to kill, well, three things that are going to kill you in exploration in Elite Dangerous. One is a neutron star, two is a white dwarf, and three is a high G planet or just not paying attention to your landing. That's the only three things that can really kill you. You shouldn't get killed by building up too much heat. Lots of people talk about taking heat sinks when they're exploring. I really, 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 really can't find use for them myself personally. Way over the top, unnecessary. Yeah, I just can't see how someone could generate that much heat that would be a problem, seeing as that you can repair everything. So it just seems to me like a waste of a module. Additional power drain, additional weight, and I don't really see it necessary. But each to their own. If you want to have a heatsink just so you feel safe, fine. Twitchy Mate says, I still remember the first exploration trips on my Krober. First one to get it outfitted with a good full system scanner. Second to get my ass. My very first exploration trip was, my major one where I actually went somewhere. I went at least, I don't know, 10,000 light years, which was a lot then. There's a lot to commit to because we didn't have all the tools that we've got now. We didn't have engineering and all that good stuff. And the ship of choice for me was a hauler. So I actually used a hauler on my first exploration trip, and I found things like black holes, and I've still got videos on my channel, and you can see that I'm actually flying a hauler, and they've got some great range on them, to be fair. And yeah, the only trouble with the hauler and why I wouldn't really recommend it now, we've got a lot more ships now. Back in the day when I had my hauler, there wasn't a big choice of ships. There certainly wasn't, like a Crate Phantom, which is a great exploration ship. Um, but when I didn't have much money, it was the hauler. And that's what I took. But the problem with the hauler is it doesn't have many internal slots. So you do struggle really to figure out, and prioritize what you want to take. In the end, I went exploring and I didn't take a shield. Was the only way that I could make it viable. So I went all that way and back without a shield, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that was before planetary landings as well. But no, I enjoyed that. My first black hole was really entertaining. There is a video on my channel of that, and I happened across, I think it was Maya, um, and that's quite a big black hole, so the lensing and stuff was pretty spectacular. And it's also next to a nebula, so not only do you get the stars effect, but also the nebula clouds all bending in the lensing. It's quite amazing. And I know I'm waffling on at the moment, but I'm trying to keep it entertaining whilst I'm flying. But I mean, another thing that another great place to go is the Barnard's Loop. Um, the only problem is, now I went there before Elite or the game started to close down sectors that you couldn't go to for future gameplay content, apparently. Um, but I went there before they locked the systems down, and I actually have systems scanned and system maps of places that are permit locked with an unknown permit. That's quite interesting. I check them now and then just to see if there's some sort of like alien space station appears in the system map, but nothing yet. But yeah, so the only problem is now with that area and the nebula, Barnard's Loop. It's a beautiful place to go and see because there's more than one nebula. But the problem is now that you can't get close enough to those nebula anymore because of the permit lock. So yeah, and I've got some dramatic screenshots. I think it's the Horsehead Nebula. Looks fantastic close up. But now it's all locked down and you can't actually get close anymore. But yes, I do have quite a few systems in that area that I've scanned, and I can still see the system map, but the whole system is now permit locked with an unknown permit. I wonder what's lurking, but right now when I look at the system map, I can't tell you there's anything lurking at all. I doubt they'd put alien space stations or anything like that in the system map anyway. It's probably a case if you have to land to find out what's there. I mean, that's been the way so far. I've not seen any of the Guardian or Thargoid systems with any structures that you can see from the system map, so it's a case of land to find, or of course map the planet. So yes, and I am quite intrigued as to what's going to come next as well. I don't know what you guys that are watching might think Elite's next step will be. There's talk of space legs. There's talk of atmospheric landing. There's talk of messing around with gas giants in the upper atmosphere as well. And that's the three main areas of conversation at the moment. So yeah, what do you think? sounds like I've got a food delivery, which is much needed. It's not going to stop me exploring though, but let's see. The sneaking suspicion there might have been something interesting to look at here, but you know, that's me. Right, what time are we on? So it's now just gone 8 p.m. in the UK, I believe. And we've got 68 jumps to go. Okay, so I think I should be able to do this within the next hour. But I will need to go and grab some food whilst I do that. It's like an endurance test, isn't it? Okay, yeah. So I don't know what anyone else is. Is everyone watching right now? Are you all also have or playing Elite? Or are you interested in the galaxy and the mysteries it holds? Because there certainly is a lot of mysteries. I mean, the galaxy is, it's just really hard to comprehend how big our galaxy is. I'm not sure what the stats are right now, but I think with all the players that are playing, and I think there's like at least 1 million players now on Elite Dangerous across all platforms, and it's a shared galaxy. I think we probably explored like, is it something like 0.01%? And it'll probably still take, you know, at least I don't have the facts for me to hand, but it's a long time to fully explore the galaxy. In other words, you couldn't do it in your lifetime. Not if every person on the planet was playing the game. So yeah, I don't know actually if there's, is it 400 billion stars, and what's the population of the planet right now? I'm waffling, aren't I? But I like this sort of stuff. We'll be on something like 7-8 billion. So if every person on the planet had this game, and it was well coordinated, obviously, then they would just need to go and visit 100 systems each should pretty much cover it well and truly, which would take about 2 hours to explore the galaxy. But there we go. That's never going to happen. That was a bit of a waffle. Alright, just bear with me while I need to go and grab a bit of food, and I'll be right back, and it won't take me long. So I'll be back. minute, sorry about that. I just needed to grab a bit of food. Thank you for hanging in there, though. What's up, all? What's going on? Makes sense. There we go. So you probably don't want to hear me, so just mute myself, but carry on. That's what you call hitting the wrong button. Trying to multitask badly. Anyway. We'll be out of here in no time. Could have done without that, really. Just wait for my frame shift drive to cool down. Right. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's me. Had a quick snack there. I just need to have something to eat. Okay. I'm sure you didn't want to hear me munching away as I traversed the galaxy. And I must remember to focus on the right screen. Next one's a neutron then. Now I'd really like to do this by 9 o'clock. I've got 45 minutes. Place your bets. So neutron star then. These are one of the stars that can kill you and end your exploration trip.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Cannot comply. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive charging.
So yeah, so you need to take those ones quite carefully. The worst you can do is get knocked out of Super Cruise, because you will be in a bit of trouble. But I find the most dangerous star, though, the most dangerous star is, for me, is definitely the white dwarf. They do facilitate a little bit of a boost if you try to use them, but they can be real nasty because the boost area that you scoop from to get that frameshift drive boost is quite short, and if you don't approach them right, you can find yourself dropping out of Super Cruise, and then you're in a whole world of trouble. And I have managed to escape a few times from that scenario, but for the untrained and even for the experienced, sometimes you just don't get lucky and you don't get out, and that's when you look at the rebuy screen, which isn't a good place to be, looking at a rebuy screen. So yeah, white dwarfs for me are the most scariest of stars. They're the ones that can quite easily ruin your day. I don't know about what anyone else that might be watching thinks about their most scariest or dangerous object in Elite Dangerous. Obviously a fully armed player versus player ship's going to be quite scary. But in terms of natural objects within the system, for me it's got to be the white dwarfs that are the most dangerous. Okay. Seems like a slightly larger star than the normal. Need to speed up this journey a little bit. Oh, I've managed to get my hull down to 99%. Ah, that was because I was busy doing something else and crashed into a star. These things happen. Yeah. So yeah, I hope the stream's running alright for everyone anyway, and all the volumes are at a good level. I am dual streaming as well. I'm streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what you think, but I think when you dual stream, I don't think the quality is quite as good in terms of image, in terms of video quality. But it's hard to test really when you're streaming, and obviously you can't really look and check to see quality. But I am outputting quite a large bit rate. I've got a really good internet connection, so I can afford that. But you get to the point where then the consumer at the other end doesn't take any more bandwidth, so I'm kind of optimized it, so hopefully it's not too bad. And I'm not even using the capture card. Just got a pretty hefty GeForce NVIDIA card, which seems to cope quite well with all of the streaming, and I'm using OBS to do the streams with, if you're interested. So hopefully I can get back to this station in the next 40 minutes would be nice. Really nice.
System scan complete. Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging.
That was a nice one, up to 98%. I think it was on heat, but still jumped in as quickly as possible. That's the way you want it to be. Was that an A-class? I didn't actually look.
Fuel scooping. System scan complete. System scan complete.
Didn't actually see. Is that an A-class? Yeah.
Fuel scooping.
You can kind of tell after a while of exploring just by looking at what brightness and so on each star is, and you kind of can tell just by looking without even having to look at the system. I wonder how many Earth likes I've missed the opportunity of.
Fuel scooping.
But we must crack on. We have a place to be.
Frameshift drive charging.
50 jumps to go, 52. Pedal to the metal and all that.
Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging.
So I don't think this community goal that I'm going back to assist with, I'm not even confident it's going to reach the second tier even with my donation. I don't know how many systems I've got stored away. I mean, I've got obviously on my way back I've got 100 jumps plus, so that's 100 systems and probably another 100 besides that, so maybe about 200. So it's not going to make a massive dent on the goal, but you never know, it might be enough to move it to the next tier by the time everyone's handed in their data. Hopefully I can contribute enough to get our research system up and in place. I'm not sure if it's going to be a base on or a laboratory on a planet, or if it's going to be in orbit, so I'll be interested to see what comes out of the community goal. But on tier 1 it's not going to be a lot, let's face it. It'll probably be very basic. It'll probably be just somewhere to land and repair, and that'll be about it. But the main things is that the lab is there, right, I guess.
Frameshift drive charging.
So what do you think then? Do you think I'm going to get there by 9 o'clock? 48 jumps. 48 jumps, oh, I don't know if I could do that. We've got 35 minutes to do 48 jumps. I don't know if that's possible. We shall see, eh?
Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging.
Trying to do it as quickly as I can, but these stars get in the way. Oh dear, that doesn't look good. What's going on there? Chat malfunctioned. Oh, the screen all froze there. I don't know if it froze for you as well. That was a bit weird. And why did my screen freeze?
Taking heat damage.
That was really bizarre.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift
Screen froze up there for a moment, and then it started saying I was getting in trouble. Strange. But we will soldier on.
fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, it's very strange that. Don't know what happened there. We got 45 to go. Wow, that seems to be slowing down. Come on.
Fuel scooping.
So yeah, as you can see, you can still honk and jump. But I do like to look at the system map, and I'm not getting that opportunity. Oh, next star's going to be a bright one. A-class star. Now, you should be able to see it in the middle of that reticle, right? But I can't see it. And it's not the star that's offset. So, I do find the star map and sky map is a little bit off since the last update. Very bizarre. Sometimes you get the situation where you can't even see any stars.
Fuel scooping.
Quite common to get metal type stars in these sort of systems, and as much as I want to look at them, I'm going to just have to keep going. Otherwise we're not going to get to our destination in a reasonable time. We are now approaching roughly 1 hour's worth of travel. And I think I could have definitely got a bit further if I'd have been really concentrating. See that light glow when you come into the next system? That normally means that there's a star quite close by. Yeah, there's one there. Or even closer.
Drive charging.
come a time when sometimes when you're out in the black, you think, wow, shall I go back? Shall I stay? But now with our jump technology that we've got in the game, and that it's not so bad. You can normally cover quite a long distance in a short amount of time. And I think I'm definitely going to do this dash within 2 hours, which doesn't seem like a long time really to cover 9,000 light years.
System scan complete.
Another A-class star by the looks of things. And yeah, again, see these brighter star systems do tend to have a lot of additional stars. They can quite look nice. Oh, look at that over there. Don't know if you can see that over there. Look, there's. Let's just adjust the view.
Frameshift drive.
3 stars all in close orbit when there's a nice close binary there. You do get some nice views. But we can't stop and play with the stars. We must carry on our journey. And we're now on 8:30. So let's see if we can do it in time.
Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging.
Next up a neutron then. Another close orbiting planet there. Just down there, look. Not that close though. When they're like 4 light seconds or less away, then they're definitely worth a look. And that's from the main star. Because you get some nice views from the planet's surface. But unfortunately, we just need to keep moving and moving and moving and get back to the bubble. As much as I'm tempted to make a detour and have a look, I've set myself a challenge and I need to follow it through.
Warning. Frameshift drive operating beyond safety limits. Frameshift drive supercharged. Frameshift drive charging.
So that's what we have to do. From one neutron to another. And it looks like there as well, there's a carbon star close by to where I'm heading, but we can't stop to look. You can tell some certain star classes by looking at the sky map as well. And even planetary nebula sometimes you can spot from the star, or the star map or sky map. Oh, this is a tricky one. Always be wary of the shorter stream type neutron stars. They can take you by surprise. I'm probably going to struggle to keep this in the stream long enough to charge, but we'll give it a go. Come on. I don't want to have to go and loop around. Okay, good stuff. Let's get going. 37. It's going to be touch and go. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it by 9 PM. You never know. Looks like we could do with some fuel as well. We're on about quarter of a tank there. So I have to make sure we do a nice slow loop around this planet to get a full tank. Planet, I mean star.
System scan complete. System scan complete.
So a little bit off on the throttle, make sure we get maximum scoop. As you can see, these large fuel scoops do quickly fill the tank, even on a bigger Anaconda. Why the chaff's malfunctioning? Who wants chaff out here anyway? in terms of my next video for the exploration guide, what do you guys think? Shall I do the codex? Codex revealed. Like I say, I think it's never really. I don't really think I've seen any videos that really give my sort of idea of what the codex is all about fully. But also, I do want to finish that Sidewinder build so that you can actually get out there and explore with it. I do have a certain destination to take it as well, to make it a worthwhile trip, with the intention of when you get back with that Sidewinder, you'll be able to upgrade and get yourself a new ship and outfit that. And that's when we'll start to take a look at engineering as well, which means collecting resources, and it just goes on and on. The list is almost endless in the things that you need to do to really get a top-notch exploration ship. So I'm not sure how we're going to get on here. We might not quite. I think we're going to be just after 9 PM game time. Would like to do it sooner, of course, but you know, it is what it is. It does make me laugh when the chaff malfunctions. So why is that? Why is that happening? We don't need chaff. We're in Super Cruise for a start. Not seen any black holes on the journey so far. Well, not without having to go and physically root them out and go and look. Of course, things get a little bit different when you're in the middle of the galaxy. There are so many stars, it's just a bright glow in the galaxy map. There's so many stars, it's just ridiculous. And that's where a lot of things will be left undiscovered as well, because there's just so many stars. You know, per 10 square light years, you know, you probably have like 1,000 stars. It's really dense and compact. So unless you're going the direct route to the middle of the galaxy, which has been well trodden by many explorers, and you're a little bit off the beaten path, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a clean sail through, finding new systems every time that no one else has been to. Of course, if you take the direct line from Sol to the middle of the galaxy, then you're guaranteed to pretty much find every system on the way has already been explored, because that's a really common journey. So one of the secrets of exploration is, if you're going somewhere like that, is take a detour, plot a route that takes you up and around. If you go direct, then you're just going to be where everyone else has been. Of course, if you're just doing what I'm doing right now, is just to try to get to an objective, and you don't really mind about scanning or tagging new systems, yeah, go in a direct line. It's the quickest way, but of course you won't really find anything new, and probably find that everyone has been to the same place before. So yeah, on the other hand, if you are wanting to find interesting things along the way, set yourself a destination that takes you off the beaten path, and then go from there to the destination one, and you should find that most of the systems you find are unexplored, and you can put your name on them. doing? Under 30 just to go.
Fuel scooping. Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. System scan complete. System scan complete. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. System scan complete. Frameshift drive charging. Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete. Frameshift drive charging.
Well, 24 jumps doesn't seem nowhere near as many as 100. Excuse me.
Fuel scooping. Frameshift drive charging.
Right on the button. interesting to see planets that appear on your scanner when you just jump in it. Either means that someone's been there before and already scanned the system, or there's a close orbit in planet to the star, which is always worth a look. So it would be nice to get back to exploring, but after I've done this mad dash back. Yeah, it's definitely seeming like I've hit the trodden path now. Systems seem to be already scanned, looking at all the bodies that are already on show. Probably won't get the system map open before I jump. Oh, there you go. As you can see, someone's already been here before. And that's what happens when you get close to the bubble. And we are getting close to the bubble. Nearly there, I guess. I must be mad heading back. But, you know, it's all for science. I hope they appreciate it when I drop all this data off. It's worth mentioning that I did stop at some stations that are further out as well, so it's not a complete exploration trip's worth. But I should have at least 100 systems to hand in, hopefully. Well, no, it'd be more than 100, as it was 103 jumps to travel nearly 9,000 light years, so one would hope I'm probably closer more to 200 systems to hand in, maybe more, but I'm guessing about 200, but we'll see. We shall see. Oh, there's a close orbiting star or two. Can't help but have a look. There's another one close to it as well. According to that, looks like it's hiding behind it, looking at my scanner. Oh, it's only a little one. Only a wee baby. Oh, it's doing that pausing again. What's going on there? I thought they sorted that out. There we go. So notice now that we're getting close back to the bubble, the star map's changing as well. I really think that the star map around the bubble is more populated and clearer and crisper than when you're closer out or further away from the bubble. I find that really weird. Could be just me, of course. It's just the sky map now, or the star map, whatever you want to call it. Skybox. Looks a lot crisper and clearer now. More stars. Strange. You don't get that sort of view when you're a little bit towards the centre of the galaxy, that's for sure. And sometimes less stars, which is a bit bizarre. When I am going directly away from the core now. much every system now has already been explored before, due to the fact that you can see planets when you initially jump in. Could have scooped a bit more fuel that time, but I think the next system is also a scoopable star. I didn't actually look, but I didn't see neutron light up anywhere. So hopefully we're good for scooping. Now we're on half a tank.
Fuel scooping.
15 jumps, come on. I think we're looking at about 10 past, worst case scenario, by the time we've landed.
Fuel scooping.
'How long to go? Come on, only 14 jumps. That still seems like a lot. I'm not enjoying this dash. I'm not getting to look around and check things out. But like I say, it's a challenge that I set myself. So let's just get on with it and do it.
Fuel scooping.
It really is quite alien to me to not look at the systems that I'm passing through. So let's see exactly how long it takes to scoop and jump on this next one. So we're in on 42 seconds.
Fuel scooping. Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging.
42 seconds, it was obstructed, so I jumped as quick as I could. How long will it be till I end up in the next system? It's 42 seconds again, and realistically the best you can do is jump a minute, but I'm sure you can go quicker than that. There you go. So it's about
Fuel scooping.
46 seconds. I'm not going to try and work that out right now, but 46 seconds per jump. I'm sure the mathematicians out there have already worked out with access to a calculator exactly how many jumps you can do in an hour. So obviously it'll be more than 60. And my brain wants to say 90 jumps an hour maximum. But you're gonna have to be really lucky with the star position and the stuff. I think realistically probably more like 80 jumps an hour.
Frameshift drive charging.
which isn't too bad. I'd say that probably works out to be in a decent ship, probably about 6,000 light years an hour. Of course, that does mean that you're not really exploring and you're just going from one place to another. But yeah, if you want to get somewhere quick, I guess. It's not too shabby. I think the record using the Neutron Highway to the core is about, is it about an hour, 2 hours, something like that. I can't remember what the stat is now, but it was pretty quick. It's certainly something you could do in one session. Just quickly go to see the supermassive black hole. Jumps to go. Well, we're certainly not going to do it by 9 o'clock, are we? But maybe by 8 minutes past. Which isn't bad, seeing as I managed to acquire some beverage and some food whilst I was doing it, I guess. So I could have been a tad quicker. But we started, yes, about an hour and 45 minutes, I think it will be, to do that 9,000 light years. That's not bad going. I'll take that. I do think the skybox looks a lot more interesting at this point. I don't know why that is. Lots of varying brightness of stars, lots of them. Whereas where we started this video, and I guess if you rewind it, you'll see that the skybox or sky map, star map, doesn't look anywhere as pretty. I don't think. I don't know why that is. That's me think whether or not they made more of an effort close to the bubble, but then for some reason it seems to have lost its pizzazz away from the bubble. I don't know what might be the cause of that. Five jumps. Nearly there then. I think after this one we'll be on just 3 jumps. And maybe I'll only have about 200 systems to hand in, but it'll be worth it just to go back and take a little detour. Well, a big detour away from the Distant Worlds 2 expedition to drop off some data for a challenge. I really do think they timed the whole challenge quite badly though. I'll get on with jumping. Well, I'm certainly not doing this for the money. I don't think even the top tier of the challenge is going to pay out very much. I think it's still on tier 1. And we'll find out when we get there. So yeah, not doing it for the money, doing it for the science. We really want that. Really want that science lab. So just make sure we get something out of it anyway. And if you're wondering, yeah, I'm not really worried about cooking my ship. I can repair it if I need to. I'm just in a hurry. Oh, this is the system. There we go. So 2102. Hopefully we should be in system by 2103. That's not bad going. That's about an hour and a half to do 9,000 light years. And I'll take that. Alright, here we are then. I think that's the station we need to go to. Look at that, and we've not seen a ship all this time. Okay. That's good, the community challenge is still going on. So we've just traversed nearly 9,000 light years in an hour and a half to drop off some data from a community goal, leaving my chums out there. I've got to go all the way back and catch up with the fleet. I must be a nutter. Well, I am, so there we go. So let's drop this data off and do our bit for the community and the science lab, which is really important. Oh, it's not going to make me do the loop of shame now, is it? Because I'm rushing. William's vision. So I think there's only about 20 hours or so left of this community goal. So if you want to help out with this community goal and get this laboratory for help understanding all the biological discoveries we've found since this latest update, then get stuck in. It's a community goal that's really struggling, and so that's why I've come back from Distant Worlds 2 just to drop off the data I've got, because I'm crazy. So let's go and see what we can contribute.
Lima Oscar. Welcome to this independent station, Commander. Please fly safely during arrival and departure. Access granted. Adjust heading for approach to pad 2-5.
Okay. Little slide stop there.
Heading and slow to approach speed, Commander.
25 is the pad we want. There she blows.
Landing gear deployed.
So touchdown at, let's call it 2107, I guess. Maybe a bit sooner, but ooh, overshot. There we go. Seems crazy that I've just come back from the exploration just to do this, but there we go. So let's have a look. And obviously we don't want to hand in our data before we take the mission. Community goals, exploration data, look at that, it's really struggling. That's terrible. So, wow, they're really struggling, aren't they? So let's sign up. We're signed up, good stuff. Okay. So let's just check that's in our transactions window. Exploration data for research center. So, naught report submitted. This really isn't going to get off to second tier, I don't think. This is quite a bit of a shame, really, isn't it? So let's just repair my shit whilst I'm here. Refuel it, why not? Okay, let's sell our data. Didn't I have some codex stuff as well? There we go. Oh, okay, I didn't realise to do it through authority. Different. I guess it all counts as exploration, right? There we go. Right, let's see what we got. No rush, come on. Going a bit slow, isn't it? 14 million for that page. So each page is 50 reports. So we should have at least 100 reports. Come on. $20 million, nice. So that makes 100 reports. I don't know what your highest system is. I think I've got one. My highest one's somewhere around about. Actually, I'm not sure. Was it something like 17 million? I can't remember now. Might be more. Come on. Only 8 million. That's probably because that's me rushing back without scanning. Come on. So that's 150 for sure. This could be the last page. That was a juicy one. What was that? Oh, another page. That's got to be the last page. So that's 200. What's that? 201, 208 maybe? Okay. Sometimes it can take a while to refresh. 206 reports submitted. Top 25. That's never going to reach tier 2, is it? What a shame. Well, I did my part. I did my part. Top 25%. Woohoo! I get 1 million. Excellent. But it wasn't for the money, it's for the science. So if you're watching this, I recommend you go and help out with this goal as well. You never know, you might make tier 2, but you've only got a few hours left. 17 hours and 49 minutes. There we go. Get cracking. There we go. And that's it, Williams Vision. Right, there we go. We've managed to achieve our dash back and sell our data. And I hope you enjoyed that little live stream. Thanks for tuning in. True, much appreciated for your comms. And I shall catch you all on the next one. So thanks for tuning in. And fly safe, Commanders. See you on the next one.